cultural and creative industry contribute about 80 to 90 billions in the GDP of this country. Yet many artists are really not happy about the government officials. If you look at the three spheres of government, whether locally, provincially, or nationally, 80 or 90% of the government officials, they don't know anything about the industry. That's why this sector is one of the most underfunded sector in our society. Because our own government officials, they can't even convince the national treasury to make sure that there is enough funding for this sector. There are very few platforms where they talk about the issues and matters that affect the cultural and creative industry in South Africa. Maybe that is about to change. Stay tuned. My name is Thami Mbongo. Mbongo, umbuyisa, ungaleza, undima, usondisa, umvemnyama, ozala komanzana, okumalo, umtungwa, omdleke. Galomasi ndithi, welcome to the Creative Talk on CCIGA. CCIGA stands for Cultural and Creative Industry Guild of Africa. Andiyami ndodwa abantu bakuthi ndiyamba.
Yes, my name is Nteso. Ngwana Msotho ahlala ndithaba ha ke cheche ha ke morao ke ya pelo bana ba ya morao ba re ke makwala I see dimamao. Yes, this is Creative Talk right here on CCIGA, and this is going to be your favorite channel from henceforth. So abuthi ujomar
Ndimnandi sisi bakunjani ko?
Uzayazi kuri walelemele wa flow
Uthini na wena? Hayi man. Anyway, what have you been up to, sisi?
Yo, a lot of things, CCIGA has been keeping me so busy.
Sure.
I know recently we've been a Night with Legends.
Sure, yeah.
Where we were mentoring about 100 artists. It was beautiful. A lot of artists were excited to learn a new thing about events management. And yeah, I was invited by Sampra recently.
Sure.
Khapeko Melrose Arc.
Yeah.
And they called all the stakeholders to just come and, address this issue of businesses not applying for licensing ko Sampra, which means artists, if a performer out there, it means I'll for the royalty because why? People, they are not registered for licensing. So yeah, done.
That's a nice initiative, huh?
No, it is. So as CCIGA, we thought, maybe let's partner with Sampra.
Sure.
Let's go around the country and enforce these businesses register for licensing. Why not? So because the partnership
Sure.
Yeah,
after a Night of Legends, I went to Evha. There was a festival that was done by a company called Black Roots Entertainment, and they were bringing different artists from Evha, you understand, to come and perform a casino, which was nice. And besides that, I've been writing my weekly articles that are published on ArtsLink and working on my theater production called Spirit of Shakespeare in Africa.
And I must say you are very good in writing, eh?
You
are very good. You are very good. You are so on point. I read your articles, I think, almost every day.
Yeah.
So that's good. So let's get into it because people are waiting to hear now what we have in store for them. Now, this week you've heard that one of the shows was cancelled, but we don't want to talk about that one show in particular. We want to talk about all the shows that have been getting cancelled. And I'm talking about television series. I'm talking about music festivals, also theater productions, The River, Riboni by Cancels. Nini, Mbarking, Deep Sea Tiliona by Cancel, on Magic, and then the other one came, The Wife.
Gomorrah, The Wife.
Are you not part of Gomorrah, by the way?
Yeah, no, I was part of the Castica Gomorrah.
My interest is, how does this thing affect artists? When you wake up one morning, what's the contract here 12 months?
Sure.
And then
Yeah.
So it affected the artist.
I think for me, Evha, it does not only affect performers, whether on stage or television, it affects quite a lot of people who work in the production. You understand? Bear in mind, you've got people who work as a crew, you understand, behind the scene. You've got a production team. Imagine you've been shooting for 2 years, 3 years, you understand, and suddenly they tell you understand, before the month end, after this month, the production is coming to an end.
I can imagine.
And you understand, it affects rent,
your life is messed up, basically.
Too much.
But what is the reason basale allow let's him? Because obviously when things turn out like this, then we are stranded. Why basale tumeli?
The truth, if Fufuna, it take yam, you understand, in South Africa, it's not like Hollywood.
Yeah.
You understand, and most of the producers and production house, they don't really care. They act as if they care, you understand, but they don't care. If you look at South Africa, you understand, a lot of artists, when they start to speak out, you understand, against this production, you understand, and then by Avalela. Look at Osis Fati Swandaha. Look at so many artists, yeah, whether as artists as Kalaza go generation, you understand?
Yeah.
The problem in this country, when you speak truth against power, you understand, Valela.
Hey, the politics industry.
Hey,
ne?
too much, too
But now
much.
let's talk about this one, the suit consentizer.
Sure.
Joburg Theatre, apparently they stopped the show, or was it the other way around?
Okay, so Evha, let's give you context. Ne?
Yeah.
Ken Temba wrote a play called The Suit. You understand, which is known by everyone. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
You understand? And then Joburg Theatre did a adaptation of this production, which was adapted by Dr. Mutabi, you understand, Mutlautse, you understand, directed by Waruna. So
The famous Waruna, right?
Waruna, yeah,
okay.
he's sending me a Sina or something,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. You understand, I'm quasi
yeah.
pronounce it. So they did a rehearsal, full rehearsal. You understand? And the show was previewed at Joburg Theatre, and then it had an opening night whereby media was invited to the who's and who is in the industry. And then after the opening night, Joburg Theatre released a statement to say the show was cancelled. You understand?
Okay.
Which, without giving any valid reason. And later on, the producers released their own statement to say the show has been cancelled, and they appreciate the role Joburg Theatre has played in the show because of certain logistics. But they didn't specify what is the main reason. Why is the show cancelled?
Show cancelled.
And Napa on the other side, the cast and the director, they are posting, you understand, saying the cancellation was not an option, and it's confusing.
But the thing is, yesterday when I woke up, I read something on Facebook that says, I think it's one of the guys, by Lungro, they're part of the cast. But apparently the production company, the suit consentizer, they hired or they actually employed another service provider to do audience development and also to be responsible for ticket sales. So apparently the tickets were not bought. But I'm just thinking, could that be a reason? Could that be a reason? Because you said they did a preview. And the preview, I guess, is something that compels people to come back and buy tickets. So what is happening with the production here?
For me, it's very tricky, understand, because the opening night, it's sort of like the official launch of the production. You understand? It's when the media will start writing about the production. It's whereby everyone that comes to the official opening, they will spread the word, you understand, about the production. And then the bookings, eventually, you understand, they go up. So for the show to be cancelled, you understand, immediately after opening night, it says something. But another interesting thing, I read a Facebook post, it was written by Ismail Mahomet, whereby he was saying in that post, so some of the audience members, during the interval, they could not come back to the theatre. We understand?
So, Batamaile.
Ababuyela back after the show, you understand? So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it would be nice.
That says a lot.
We invite some of the cast members and the director and the producers and even Joburg Theatre to come to the show and speak for themselves.
Well, enough about the suitcase consentizer. People, you need to do your job. But during the intervals. But let's talk about Makufe. Makufe, I was told that it was cancelled. And all of a sudden, there's a new festival that's happening. So, was it really replaced? Or what's happening here? What do you think?
What do you mean, Uguti? You understand that there's a new festival coming while Abantu Belinde Makufe?
It is happening as we speak. It is happening because remember, every year, Makufe yatsakhala during this time. So, nane getsima Makufe e cancelled, right? Because you remember, Makufe, they start doing marketing from February, March, somewhere there, you know? So we never saw anything. And when we asked, we were told, no, Makufe is being canned. But we know Riselby took the Department of Arts and Culture Free State to court. Why? Because his argument was saying, the tender is always been given to the same people. And these people are being given a lot of money. Yet artists, they don't benefit from that. They always bring this international artist, which I don't see anything wrong with that, because if Maxwell is a crowd puller, why not? Now, all of a sudden, Ba itse cancelled Marunal Festival e nngwe. The question is, tjhelete e tswa kae? E filwe mang? Ke mang o hosting that festival? Understand that thing show?
Yeah, and it's tricky if it's happening right at the same time. You understand? Exactly. Which means ukuthi ayonto eplanwe suddenly.
No, well, this is my personal view. You can't say the festival is cancelled and during the exact time that Makufa happens, you want to implement similar thing.
Sure.
So they might have taken the proposal ya Makufa, cut and paste, let's do it slightly different, twist it there and there.
Yo.
But that is not the case. It's fine. Let it benefit the people of the Free State.
Sure.
The question is, chelete etswa ko kae, ha bana ba itse chelete ha eyo. Number two, ke mang o implementing that. But re tla e bona some other time because MEC, re tla mo founela re mo tsa dipotso. After the break, we're talking amendment bill. Hey! So in August 2023, CCIGA, which stands for the Cultural and Creative Industries of South Africa, they held a march, leader artists, but they are against this fair use or rather the current amendment bill, which was not signed or hasn't been signed as yet. But now the question is, artist. And I know Thami was part of that. I could blame because now, to be honest with you, I am still a bit confused.
Sure.
But maybe before I ask you that, let's watch this video. Yeah, the march. Because I know a lot of people attended it.
Amanda! No to fair use, no! This is just the beginning. We are going all the way until we see that this thing is not signed.
If they sign this bill, you are going to be giving away your intellectual property rights for free.
If you want to stand up and fight for your rights, you have to fight from a place of knowledge and understanding.
It's almost 10 years now. We've been saying one thing, no to fair use. Because it's not fair to artists, it's not fair to art practitioners, it's not fair to creatives.
We are frustrated and dismayed at the processes surrounding the amendment of the Copyright Act.
This morning I'm standing here on behalf of SALSIF and CCIGA. We are saying whatever the narrative has been up until now, we are now coming together.
It's not about unity, it's not about disunity, it's about the rights that are enshrined in the Constitution. Now is the time to change the narrative.
I will take responsibility to make sure that the Arts and Culture Committee meet. You are not against the bill as a whole. There are good elements of it, but there are particular clauses that's going to drown the sector. We're talking about Mzansi creative economy.
So, Thami,
Yeah.
you were part of the march.
Sure.
You went to the media briefing.
Sure.
I was there as well. I was not talking much because I am not learned on this thing.
Sure.
So I just want you to educate our audience because some of us, we don't even know what is amendment bill, what is the copyright bill, what is the fair use. So if you can just maybe give us that difference.
Okay, when we are talking about these two unsigned bill, you understand, we are talking about copyright amendment bill,
Yeah.
which is a separate bill, and then there's also a performance protection amendment bill, you understand?
Okay.
And then what the South African government has done, you understand, is to combine them. So when they are engaging on this bill, you understand, they are not only talking about copyright amendment bill alone, but
Yeah.
they are combining them two together, you understand, because ziyahlangana zoyi-two, you understand? So the background, I think in 2017 or 13 May, you understand, the minister ye trade and what is it, TD, trade and
Industry.
trade and industry competition now, you understand, presented the bill to the National Assembly, a parliament, you understand? And then when a bill is presented a parliament, it's supposed to go for a public hearing whereby everyone can comment on it, you understand, before it passed. So it was done between 1st of August up until 15 August. And then out of the public hearings, you understand, obviously they are going to rework the document, you understand. And then the 25 April 2018, there was a new working draft, you understand, which took into consideration the public hearings. And then a bill was presented by National Assembly to the President, because in order for the bill to be signed, you understand, to be passed, it needs to be signed by President.
Okay.
And from President, the National Assembly. So in 2020, 13 June, you understand, it was passed. And then, President, we understand why refer back to the National Assembly.
Why?
Because the President was saying, it seems the industry is not speaking in one voice. Because there were a lot of complaints, you understand, abantu be complainer about the bill, you understand, some part of the bill, you understand. So Kaibuela back, which means there will be more public hearings, you understand. And I remember there was hearings 11 and 12 August 2021. And also this year, there was another public hearing between 21 February till 14 March. And
This hearing, it happens when? Like, how does it happen? Does it happen in different provinces or is it just one place?
It happens in different provinces, especially the one year 21 February to 14 March, because it was done in all 9 provinces. Because after then, it needed to be taken to the National Council of Provinces, because as a parliamentary is divided, you understand. So the National Council of Provinces were meant to take a mandate from their provinces, you understand. But something interesting happened, you understand. Ababantu from the NCOP, most of them, they did not take a mandate from their provinces, because many provinces were saying, don't sign the bill, because you have the fair use, we understand it's problematic for many artists.
Let's dwell on that.
Sure.
What is problematic about the fair use?
Evha, masi anpege lula kamandi ngokusithatha nge-digital world angisho. So if go Twitter, go TikTok, go Instagram, they play your music. As an artist, you understand, you are not going to benefit anything, because Andichobaza is sliced into maybe 60 seconds. You understand?
Yeah.
So most of the artists feel Uguti, they are not gaining anything. You understand? Because why intellectual property yabo for free, they are not gaining anything.
So is this what the government wants to sign on behalf of us?
Exactly.
Uguti, we need to spend so much time in the studio. Well, politicians, they don't even know how much we take in the studio, you know, to produce a song. And thereafter, so many hours that I've spent of my sweat, and I take my product online, and the next thing I don't get paid for it. Is this what the president and the ANC say we must stand for?
So ingomo yako Evha ingadlalwa itrend almost the whole year. But you understand, you are not benefiting.
Okay, now let's come here. I just want us to be quicker, because of time. Who is behind the fair use? Who is behind the payment of royalties of our IP? I hear we need to fight for our rights.
Yeah.
And it's always good to fight for our rights.
Sure.
But now we need to also understand, what are we fighting for? Because maybe the president can say, okay, artists, they make a case, you know, they've got a case, they make a point.
Yeah.
However, who is supposed to decide on what needs to be paid on our IP?
It's a tricky one, Evha. The question... No, we must be honest and ask who benefits from it.
Yeah.
You understand that?
Yeah.
Who benefits from TikTok? Who benefits from
Facebook?
Instagram? Who benefits
Twitter?
from Twitter? You understand?
Exactly.
So it's interesting, in South Africa, people will say, like for example, the South African Guild of Actors, they are happy. We understand that, because they are saying good, it's good, while a lot of musicians are saying good, it's not good. You understand? Because I benefit. I strongly feel, personally as Thami, Mbongo Guti, there's a lot of money that has been used to buy a band to say Guti, le bill my password as it is. You understand? Because abantu benefitayo, mafia is behind the scene, because they are so good. As a benefit once it change.
None to about this thing, you know, South Africans, is We've got talented artists
Sure.
that can come up with their own systems, that can come up with their own platforms. However, as much as we can fight, as much as we can raise our voices and so forth, we are fighting to get paid decente. And a decente, though, they're being controlled by someone. The question is that person a South African? After the break, we're talking about the Limpopo artists who slept in the streets. Our struggles. Creative Talk.
Yeah, as Evha besitsho ukuthi there is a production called Pinar the Musical from Limpopo, which was having a short season at the State Theatre in Pretoria. So this production, you understand that Evha, it's produced by a company called the Best Arts Center. On the evening of the 9th of October. On social media, on Facebook, umuntu ebizwa ngokuba nguJimmy Muhlala. Uposter Evha, i-poster yokuthi i-artists are sleeping outside a State Theatre. We understand that because Limpopo Department of Sport, Arts and Culture promised them ukuthi they were going to sort out accommodation for the artists as about 35 of them.
And did they?
Kaloku balele ngaphandle. And then later on, the following day, the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture Limpopo released a statement to say ukuthi, one, a request was made, you understand that, but it was not approved. You understand? So they accept ukuthi the company made this request. And secondly, in that statement, but over the years, this particular company, Ebacholayo on social media, it has been funded to date about over R1 million. You understand, for a program. And the third one, they are saying in their statement, department, it's not me who's saying this, department, zonke proceeding, this company is going to get from a State Theatre, they are going to the company, which personally, I'm having a problem, Sis Evha, which we must discuss. One, I'm not taking side about to say who is wrong and what. But I'm having a problem with a department to say over the years they have funded 1 million. You understand that? Because it's not doing justice. It has nothing to do with this particular production. You understand? And as artists, we must be careful. Because Evha, we founded you, we founded Wena over the years, 5 million. And then it will sound to other people out there, which is a lot of money. Because you understand that this 1 million they are talking about, surely they are talking about other projects they have been doing. It has nothing to do with this production. So that one, you understand, that personal is getting.
But here's my issue. Here's my issue. Okay, maybe let me be, two-sided here.
Sure.
I don't mind when the government is funding one production, 1 million, 10 million, 20 million, for the 5 consecutive years, for as long as that production is creating jobs, number one.
Sure.
Number two, for as long as that production is making an impact in their society, right? Number three, for as long as that production is actually marketing and promoting their province nationally and globally. But I have a problem. When this very same production, and I'm not talking about this production in particular, when the production is now connected to the officers inside the department, just for them to be able to loot money through that production, and the reason why the very same production is getting money, I've got a problem with that. And in this case, maybe we need to investigate why this particular production has been receiving whatever million or 5 million every year, when there is so many productions in Limpopo that are supposed to be getting that money.
I think let's fix some things. One, I think the department in Limpopo, because in their media statement, they are saying Pinar Theatre Group. You understand? They are confusing two things. You understand? This production is produced by a company called the Best Arts Center. You understand? I don't know if there is any company called Pinar Theatre Group. You understand? And I know the funding that they are talking about, maybe they are talking about the funding that goes to the Best Arts Center. You understand?
Not the production itself.
Not the theatre production. It might be one of those things, because in government, hence we said in the beginning, our government officials don't know much about the industry. Because they assume, because the Pinar The Pinar is the musical. You understand? So they are assuming ukuthi out of this musical, it's a theater group of the same title of Pinar. You understand? But they are meant to speak about the best art center. It's always nice when these companies or organizations are funded. You understand? It benefits quite a lot of other artists and the community that they are coming from.
I always like it when such stories come up, such incidents come up. Why? Because they make us as artists to go back and sit down and say, hey, are we allowed to question our departments in a way they run their fundings, you know, and the way the system is like in our provinces. So, nakere, hare khutla, hare bueng ka funding, the funding sa department, what's alang ka tsona? So funding has been a huge struggle in our industry. We are in October. Hey, and some of us, we haven't even received our funding. But I want us to break it down. Let's talk about the available opportunities that are now currently available for us. MGE by DSEC. What do you think about MGE? Because I saw the window is open, yet other people that have applied since last year, they haven't received their money. What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, Evha, MGE, Mzansi Golden Economy by Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. You are right. They've opened now another call, which is ending, I think, towards the end of the month. You understand? But it's tricky because a lot of artists have been complaining, you understand? Because as you are saying, some of the other artists have not received their contract yet. And some have received their contract, but they haven't received any sort of payment.
Wait, they haven't received contracts for which window?
For the last window.
Window last year, about last month, about 2 months back. Which one are you talking about?
I think it was last year or early beginning of the year.
Sure. And then what's the point of now having another window when people haven't received their money? It doesn't make sense. Please make some sense into my head.
Evha, I'm telling you, you understand? As we said in the beginning, most practitioners are not happy with our government official. You understand? Imagine the national department saying, you need to apply, these are the dates, you understand, that you need to meet, these are the deadline to submit your things. And in return, they are not even honoring their own words. You understand? Because Abaniki artists. It is disasterly.
And if I remember very well, I also applied last year. I was declined, and I asked for the reasons, and they said my compliance is not in a proper way. And I said, what is it on the compliance that I did not submit? And they told me about the self-certificate. And I'm like, okay, can I just open your eyes? And then I showed them, right? And then later they came back and they said, no, but the category that you have applied for has your non-tonton. Fine, it's okay, I accepted. But I'm just thinking for the people by Longore, Baba approvile. Until now, but they said, what's the point of opening another window when there's still an outstanding amount that's supposed to be dispersed to the artists? It doesn't really make sense. And we thought, with the new minister, things will change. Have they changed, Thami?
Evha, as we are saying, this thing here, funding challenges, is not only happening nationally, even provincially. Let's look at, for example, Gauteng department. Early this year, they opened for a grant and events, and up until today, the announcement is not.
Specific.
Specific.
Yes. When did we apply for the grants and the events funding? Come March 2020.
October.
How many months are we left with before year end?
Sure.
How many? Like, honestly speaking.
And the sad thing, Evha, we understand that imagine the artists are waiting to hear about the funding, but the government officials are earning a salary every month.
Are we supposed to take the departments to court? Because according to my knowledge, they were hired, they were employed to serve us, the industry. So if they are failing, then why are they getting paid? Are we not supposed to take them to court?
Evha, it's clear, Uguti, the government officials are not delivering a mandate here. Because Ababantu, Evha, Like I remember in one of the articles I was writing about government officials, Oguti, they act as if they are doing the industry a favor. You understand? That? They are the servant of the people.
Yeah.
They are working for the people. Now, ngati sibenze the favor. You understand? By applying what in, we've got the rights. You understand? So if the industry is suffering, you understand? Surely, Oguti nabo. They shouldn't be happy by receiving a salary every month.
I want to talk about Gauteng because I stay in Gauteng, right? I wrote to the Department of Arts and Culture personally because I've applied. And I said, may I have feedback?
Sure.
Or now, why can I receive my results even now? If anybody in that office can tell me.
Sure.
And I did not get an answer. And I've been hearing from other artists as well that they did the same thing.
Sure.
Nobody's getting any response from the department.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing. Maybe the departments, they need to be taught
Sure.
that artists, they are unemployed. We haven't been having any jobs in Gauteng. I want to talk about Gauteng because
Sure.
we stay in Gauteng.
Sure.
And I can assure you that this applies to so many other departments in other provinces.
Exactly.
How many artists are currently unemployed? The issue of mental illness, body artisting, is because of this joblessness.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
How are we supposed to be feeding our families? Let's talk about their programs.
Yeah.
There are programs that are supposed to be featuring us.
Sure.
The programs are supposed to be, they're supposed to be collaborating with us at least to create those small jobs. Who is getting those? And do you know what this thing, not for me, ke bone kare e causa division
Sure.
between celebrities. Well, celebrities is something else, but then those popular artists that have worked hard
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
where they
yeah,
are today,
yeah.
and those that are still coming up. Because now, when we look at these celebrities performing in these events at department, oh, Baja Libon, or just because
Yeah.
they are famous, and Rona because Rapusha are famous, that is why And I think it's hard time that we need to teach government, or the reason why the industry is not united,
Sure.
it is because ke bona the cause. Yo yona ke tlo e bua e le jalo straight.
Yabona Eva, before I comment, yeah, this term here, celebrity, in South Africa, I think celebrities are in Hollywood. In South Africa, we understand
What
that
are you
if they are
saying?
celebrities, they are very few. Because the term celebrity, you understand, it goes with the lifestyle, it goes with a lot of things. You
And
understand?
legacy
But
as
that's
well.
another discussion for another day.
Yes.
The challenge, funding challenges, you understand, in South Africa, you understand, you are right, Eva, not only with provinces, yeah, but it also happened to government entities, you understand? Because, you understand, government entities like National Arts Council, National Film and Video Foundation, PASA, and many of them, you understand? Because the artists are not, most of them are not really happy about these entities, you understand? Some of the artists have been applying for years, and they're not getting funding. You understand?
And I get it.
Sure.
This is creative talk. Here we spill the beans as they are.
Yeah,
People
it's
have been
creative talk.
complaining about BASA, that BASA is not funding black productions. Is that true? Maybe you can write to us.
Hey.
Talking about NAC. NAC, no so. Well, you are lucky that you were funded. I was not funded. And when I asked their reasons, they are telling me all this manner of reasons.
Sure.
And they are giving people the decline letter and what's in the same way. Well, NVF, ke tla lefa break nyana ganyana, you understand? Mara, hey, system ya funding, to be honest, in this sector, arts and culture, it's not right.
Yeah.
And we also have Jobs Fund.
Sure.
Jobs Fund, which has so much money.
Sure.
Last year, I was working on a project here, Jobs Fund, and I asked this particular question. Is the creative arts sector included? Is it accommodated? And they said, well, the creative arts sector, they've never approached us. Even your department as well, they've never approached us. So how will we then think out of our heads as corporates to think we're need funding? NYDA, they have taken out the tender now.
Sure.
Romeo Ramuada, the president of SACIVE, he fought them during the briefing. We were there. And it's not like he was wrong. Because why? We are always excluded.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And I'm hoping that NYDA with this tender, they are going to accommodate us.
Sure.
Because honestly speaking, heartful. Yeah.
Artist is Lambi.
Well, before we talk about EFF, because I know this one is going to be a heated argument, right? I want us to talk about events that are happening in the country, and one of the biggest ones that are coming up Actually, tomorrow, it's Moshito. You know, Moshito is one of the most popular music conferences in the country. It has been happening over 20 years now.
yeah.
I have been part of Moshito. I know that conference, you learn a lot.
Sure.
But lately, I have noticed, hey man, Moshito, Karla, go fight, man. Because the attendance, honestly speaking, last year, I was not very much impressed.
Yeah.
And I realized that activities, they're still similar to the ones that I used to see back then, of which they're still good because obviously, you know, panel discussions, we learn a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm just worried about artists that are not attending the conference. Maybe when are we
Eva, I must be honest, mna andikomde kakhulu kwi-event
private.
but no. But I'm looking forward, you understand, and it's really concerning when you're saying the event, you understand, has been happening for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
You understand? And sometimes we also, as event organizers, we need to challenge ourselves.
Of
You
course.
understand? There are a lot of things that are happening now. You understand? The industry, revolve. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah.
Things change every day. You can't expect to go to into a bit popper 10 years
Yeah.
ago. It will pop again in 20 years. Kune generation as a you understand? So we need to open up for those generation. No revival. But I'm looking forward to attend the media launch because CCIGA has been invited and we are going to media launch. And
Yeah.
this year I'm hoping to attend in Moshito.
One of the things that I like about Moshito, and a lot of people can attest to this, I mean, we learn a lot about the music business at Moshito. Some of the celebrities, honestly speaking, they were discovered at Moshito.
Celebrities,
Yes.
Evha.
Yeah, no, they
Okay.
were. Well, I'm not a celebrity, dude. But yeah, some of the celebrities today, they
Sure.
were discovered then
Sure.
via Moshito. You know, they invite a lot of industry experts to share knowledge, to share experience, and that's where we also network and connect with other people there. You know, and I just love it. But my concern is, time is evolving.
Yeah.
Life is evolving. Life in general is evolving. I just want to see more creativity when it comes to this festival. And maybe, now there's my own personal advice and my own personal view. Ukuthi mhlambe Moshito, the board, come up with more creative ideas, you know? Allow other people to collaborate with Moshito.
Yeah.
And
You're right.
let's see different activities so that this conference can be the way it used to be back then. Yeah, but just a way to attract more crowd
Sure.
and more young people. Amapiano, arsa quite too much. You know, Maria, no yana. So how do we then accommodate that young crowd,
Sure.
that young market? And that's what I'm crying, Uri. These kinds of conferences that have been there for
Sure,
the longest time.
yeah.
Let them be more creative. Let them involve young people with creative ideas.
Sure. Yeah, definitely you are right. Inisixhosa badla ngokuthi inyathi ibuzwa kwabaphambili. But mina ndiyaphikisa lonto yabona ndithi inyathi ibuzwa kwababonileyo.
I can't
You
hear.
might be phambili, you might be forward, but ungabonanga nix.
Exactly.
So you understand that we
Yeah.
can't underestimate the power and the experience of legends. You understand that, like as you are saying, Moshito has been there over 20 years. But
Yeah.
kune new role players, you understand that in the music industry, you understand that the language has changed.
And
You
talking about the
understand?
new role players, we've got AJ's House now. It's a new podcast that has been happening. Hey,
Uthina?
kere, bona mo guy mona. You know the owner, the founder of AJ's House, right?
Sure.
You don't know? Eh,
Angubani, can't fundis, can't
the cameraman. Do you know who's the owner of the AJ's House? Yeah, who is it?
I think it's AJ or something.
Exactly, AJ Mafokate, bruh. You know, young blood, this is
Yeah.
the of him. So one thing that I like about the podcast, ne,
Yeah.
he's interviewing a lot of famous DJs.
Sure.
Famous DJs. And AJ Garucho Fetika style, man.
Yeah.
Because, you know, his sound, the way, and his favorite sound.
Sure.
Is more like, kind of a the sound of a tongue. You know, we are going black coffee type.
Yeah.
You know, noise in my piano, you understand? And that's one thing that I like about him. No, I'm not criticizing because I'm old blood.
Yeah.
And one thing that I like that he does with the DJs, you know, he dwells more into their life stories, that you know, the trajectory of their life stories.
Nice.
Babu, Raituta as well.
Nice.
So, Kadi 14, I think, it's October.
14
They'll-
October, yeah?
Yes, this coming Saturday.
Yeah.
They'll be celebrating their first, is it birthday or king? Yes, they'll be
Yeah.
doing that anyway. But before that, they're going to be hosting the business, the music business workshops.
Sure.
And I think I am going to attend. And why I'm going to attend? Because
Mm.
I want to learn, Horena, as opposed to the old croaky. But AJ, how are they going to implement this workshop? Because what Thami, Mafokate, you do things the same way. But let's see young people or Nabona, if they were to implement these kinds of workshops, how are they going to implement them?
You see, Eva, we were talking about Mushito now,
Yeah.
20 years.
Hey.
Now you're talking about AJ's 1-year celebration.
Yeah.
Yabo. If Mushito be revolve, yabo, they
should
should be
attend.
inviting also
They should attend.
these ones.
Exactly.
You understand, to be part
Yes.
of this thing, to spark. But I don't know.
Or attend.
Exactly.
Or attend.
I'm just saying.
Ntho ke tsebang kore AJ ka set up ntate tla o bola. Wa bona ka set up o tlo bona le ko party. I can't even go there ka di night dress. I can't go there ka mosese wa ka wa 2 years back. I have to go buy a new outfit because why? This is AJ Mafokate. Anyway, let's talk about EFF.
Economic freedom, one, let me say it clearly, as CCIGA Cultural and Creative Industry Guild of Africa, we are apolitically, we are not aligned with any political party. You understand that in this show, Creative Talk on CCIGA, you understand that we cover everything that happens around cultural and creative industry. So EFF is organizing a creative dialogue. You understand that, because they are preparing for their 2024 manifesto. And they've specified to say, Guti, this invitation is not only for EFF members. It's open to any artist across the country who wants to attend the conversation. If you look back at the EFF, since it was formed in 2013, even in their founding document, you understand that they talk about the issues that relate to arts and culture. And then they develop another document called People document, which also incorporates some of the things of the arts and culture. And also, if you look at their 2019 manifesto and 2011, even the local election, they've got a certain section that deals with arts and culture. So this invitation is sort of like a follow-up. You understand that even in the previous one, they had a consultation with cultural and creative industry to make their input.
I don't actually align with any political party. I'm just a pure South African.
Yeah.
One thing that I like about EFF is that they've always been looking after, artists. Look what happened recently at FNB. Those artists, all of them, that huge lineup, all of them, none of them complained or they were never paid, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, there's other political parties. Can you please learn from Malema a little bit? I'm not saying that you should go guard that escalating stage ladder thing, please, but I'm just saying.
And also, if there are any political parties that are doing any engagement with the cultural and creative industry, please invite CCIGA, please invite the Creative Talk on CCIGA, so that we cover, so that you don't think, Ukuti, we are aligned to any political party. You understand? When you are doing good, we will praise you. When you are doing something, we will call you into order.
Well, Basotho, Batswana, Mazulu, Kirmavenda, Bahaya, I hope that you guys have enjoyed the show. It's been lovely on our first episode. Please do write to us and tell us, Orna, le batla ribue ka eng. And next time, we will have definitely Mafokate on the show. But for now, we are saying, let's keep on talking creatively right here on Creative Talk. CCIGA, we are out. Boo.
Thank you.